My name again is Gareth Soloway, and I'm with the live Apex Live day trading room as well. I got my charts up here. We're ready to rock and roll a little bit here. I've even got Ben. How you doing, Ben, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Gareth. This is exciting.
Yeah, this is exciting for sure. For sure. So, just as we're getting started, guys, welcome to Investor Empowerment Day. You can see I got a setup here. This is kind of the best we could do in terms of making it as lifelike as possible for essentially what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make it so you guys get an inside view of what trading can be like, about how investing and trading should be when you start to even the playing field, when you use the tools that the institutions use and are able to kind of mimic and utilize the same type of stuff, which is really, really very, very cool. So that's where we are today. I've got my my setup here. I got my trading platform up. I've got my charts. I mean, literally computers beyond computers all hooked up here. And what I want to do real quick, guys, and the trading room won't be able to see this unless they're tuning in on the home page as well. But what I really want to do is go into and really just show what we have going on here. So I'm going to step out here and we're going to just jump in front of this screen right here. Okay, so we have Investor Empowerment Day, brand new holiday, and I know there's a lot of holidays out there, but is there one for the retail investor where the retail investor is able to essentially step up their game and get the same access as institutions? And that's where it should be. I mean, let's be fair. That's where it should be, where we are able to compete and even at least put up the valid fight and profit in the markets by using the same sort of data analysis that we can. So that's where we are again, in Investor Empowerment Day. It's a big day here at Verified Investing, who does our best to give out the data, unbiased, no narratives, no hype, no nonsense. The charts are the charts. And how many times in the game plans do I say that to you guys, where it's all about the charts tell me. I don't tell the charts are in charge. Anytime I try to tell the charts usually smack me around and make me lose money. And you guys can see, by the way, I have a headset on here because I'm also live in the Apex Live day trading room, where we're going to be day trading as well. And we even got our special checkerboard just going off here as well, just to make sure it's as real as possible. All right, so I'm going to head back here. I do want to get into some charts here as we go into this. And by the way, we're going to be taking questions. I have the live day trading room up here, which is going to be, they can ask questions as well and point out key things, and Ben has his charts up as well. But the first thing we want to do here, guys, and I want to just quickly go over what we saw on Bitcoin, right? So if we bring up the Bitcoin chart, and I'm going to go over to the screens as well, but the trading room can see this as well, is what we have is Bitcoin that has actually rallied significantly in the last few days. And so follow me over here, and we're going to go to the far chart here. And this is going to be the one where we go through a lot of these charts. But what we have here is Bitcoin, right? And Bitcoin had a 3-bar surge. And notice how it's peaking above our key resistance level. And so on Bitcoin, what we're watching for now is, do we close above this zone? And if we close above, do we confirm above it? All right, now confirmation, again, is a technique I teach. It's one I created, actually. It's been one of the most influential kind of tactics that I've been able to derive from 25 years of experience. And essentially what we have here, folks, is you close above, and then you want to see, is it a fake out, which institutions do all the time, right? This is, again, this is going into that Investor Empowerment Day. Be empowered by knowing the games that the institutions play, including Options X games and all these other games. And so we're above, but that doesn't mean it's a breakout. How many times have we seen charts go above lines, and then before you know it, it's a good old rug pull right back down? Watch for confirmation right here. If we can confirm, that's very, very positive for Bitcoin. Honestly, it could even head back up into this range right up there. All right, a couple other charts that I'm going to flip over to here, guys, as I follow back to the charts. I do want to just talk a little bit about the S&P pre-market here, because, again, we did see some pretty crazy news here over the weekend, right? Obviously, the horrific attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. When I was looking at it, I was saying to myself, oh man, this is going to, at least raise the risk of more violence, which probably would be negative for markets. But the markets, in fact, actually kind of rallied higher. We've seen the markets going higher. And I think, again, the main culprit here is that we're in a position where Donald Trump is more likely to win. He's definitely on the deregulation side of things, and he's at a point where he probably will. It's looking more and more likely that the Senate and the House go to the Republicans, and that means that there's going to be more spending, right? More stimulus, less regulation, to the point where that's basically the equivalent of the Federal Reserve lowering rates, right? Free money, more money. Screw the long term, right? I mean, I think we have to be realistic about that, is that the more spending that goes on, probably the worse it is for us in the long term. But in the short term, the markets don't really care about that. Right now, the markets are like a drug addict. It's like, how do we keep this high going? How do we get more stimulus, which can push stock prices higher? And that's what we're really seeing here. So a couple things to go over here. Number one, if we flip over to the intraday, the S&P, and I'll walk over to my chart again. We can talk a little bit about this here, the FAR chart. So if we look at the intraday on the S&P 500, this is that late day sell, which I actually thought was very, very interesting, because the late day sell was on heavy volume. It was very institutional based, so institutions dumping into the end of Friday. And then what we see here today is we're rebounding. Now, we're not back to those highs on Friday on the S&P, but we're very, very close. We've basically negated about half of that drop on Friday. So what am I looking for? Well, as a day trader, we're looking at this high pivot, which is right around 563.50-ish, as a potential shortable level. That would be what would be considered a double top. So today, when we get into the action, that is one of the things that I will be looking at, is do we get a double top opportunity right in this range, right? So let me just bring that up here and draw that in. This would be right in there. That could be a double top. Now, as a trader, you're going to be getting insight into our day trading. Now, one of the things to remember is there's no guarantees that there's any trades. Sometimes there's no trades. Thursday of last week, we had 9 trades just in the morning session. So it's one of those things where a disciplined trader takes the trades that are there, that are pushed to us. We don't want to force trades. When there's nothing there, you have to be good enough to sit back and say, hey, there's nothing here. I don't want to do anything stupid that will ultimately cause me to lose money. So that's kind of one of those things right there. But anyways, S&P is up a little bit on the day. We're looking at a little bit of a positive move on the Russell. The Russell's up a little bit, as is the NASDAQ. Stocks making moves today. We're seeing Tesla bouncing higher again. I'm watching Tesla at a couple key levels. In fact, I have a small position that we held from Friday on the short side of Tesla. Only a 3/10 position. We'll talk about that in the live day trading room in just a second. I'm sure they're curious about if I'm going to add to that position, and the answer is yes, I am going to add to that position. So we'll look to do that. We actually had a short position on Friday. We made $14 a share on Tesla, and then when it got all the way back up to almost that 250 level, we shorted a tiny bit again, just dipping that toe in the water to maneuver, and so that's been a nice little addition there. All right, so that's where we have on the S&P. I'm going to go back to my charts here, and I'm going to ask Ben. Ben, what are you seeing today, buddy? Is there anything moving?
I'm not seeing too much. We've got a MSTR, obviously, because MicroStrategies with Bitcoin and stuff. And then you got Sentinel, Smith & Wesson is up about 6.9%. So that's kind of on my radar. It's getting a little bit more interesting for potential short level. But other than that, it's not a whole lot moving a ton.
And I think that's a good point. I wrote an article about this about a week ago on Smith & Wesson, and the idea was, and again, I'm no fortune teller, but I was looking at a daily chart of Smith & Wesson. This is the intraday, so you see the intraday is trading up just a little bit, but I was kind of saying that there's so much vitriol in the economic or in the political scene that you'd have to think that as we get closer to the election, Smith & Wesson might be one that would be an interesting long swing trade, because it actually was beaten down quite a bit over the last 6 months or so. I think it was up to 17, and then it was down to about 14. It didn't hit a gap fill that I was looking for, but certainly today you're seeing a move to the upside. And again, that is an interesting one. So that'll be on our radar for a potential short here as we kind of rotate back here. But yeah, I agree, Ben. I think that's a good one, a good potential opportunity. And then MicroStrategy is probably more we just look at the Bitcoin chart and potentially trade that just a little bit. All right. A couple other stocks I wanted to bring up to your attention, guys. So this is kind of interesting here. this is not something that I will likely trade today, but it is one that had some big news. Burberry, BRBY, which is traded on the LSE market, that stock got trounced overnight into today. And you guys, I don't know if you guys can go to that chart there so that they can see the actual chart up that are watching. But if we can flip over, there we go. So check this chart out, guys. Here, so if we look at Burberry, we can see that there is a key trend line, and look at the drop on this thing. And this is a high-end retailer, but basically they came out and warned. They warned that earnings were going to miss, and that they actually fired their CEO. And again, that's just more indications that even the high-end kind of consumer is starting to step back just a little bit. And again, if we just go here, I just want to show you guys, look at this technical level. I actually really like this technical level on the charts. And we can see here that this line here, look at this. This is going back to the 2007 highs right here, all the way through there, and all the way right through there. So again, it's getting close to support, but look at the downdraft this thing has had on Burberry. Pretty nasty fall, but again, coming into some good support here. Okay, so again, you guys are getting a little bit of an insight into what we do. It's a little bit more of a kind of a, I would say, Ben, it's a little unusual.
It is.
You know, I'm trying to like go from behind my computer to computer screens, I should say, to running over to the boards to kind of draw on charts for people. But I think it's fun. This is a good day to do it, and we'll hopefully get some volatility here. But yeah, man.
I was just noticing Macy's down almost 15% right now.
Let me take a look at that on Macy's here, and we can show the big board up for people so they can see. I'm going to flip to your charts, actually, so you can actually put that up there for you.
Yeah, so I've got this huge drop on Macy. It looks like it just happened at 8:30 this morning. It's probably why it wasn't on my radar. But it's a pretty substantial drop for Macy's.
I know that there was talks about maybe them getting bought out, so I wonder if that's falling through now. I'm just trying to bring up some news. And this is what, as a trader, guys, everyone watching, as a trader, this is what you have to do. You have to kind of, you see a big move, and you're trading the charts, obviously, but you also don't want to be someone who has no clue why something is falling. What if they just filed for bankruptcy? You don't want to be the one stepping right in front of that to the downside. Macy's terminates takeover talks with Arkhouse and Brigade, citing lack of certainty over financing. There you go. So Macy's, again, dropping here, guys, sharply this morning. And let me look for technical levels here. So let me see here.
I have a Pierce of 15.
That's what I was looking at, too. Pierce of 15. I'll jump over to the board so I can show everyone here. So as a day trader, what you want to do is already you're starting to scope out levels, right? And when I look at levels, I'm looking back on the chart, right? So you have this area right here. There's a big gap right here, which had already been filled, but then you see this little flat top right here, and then we can basically draw that line across 1493, 1495 as a potential scalpable level here this morning. That's a good one. That's very, very good. All right, so as we get closer, what time is it? We have about 15 minutes before the stock market opens to get going here. I'm just trying to scan through here. Yeah, Jimmy's mentioning, I'm looking at some of the chat, the Apex Live Day Trading Room comments here. Apple up $5 on the day. So Apple, guys, reported today that basically India sales are up 33% year over year. So again, this is something that I've kind of been expecting, where China's really been kind of, you've seen big business pull away because of the uncertainty in terms of regulation, the government there, and they've really gone hardcore into India. And that, again, is something that's a repercussion of what the Chinese government crackdown has done to some of the business there. It's really made other businesses say, okay, well, we need to diversify away, which is the smart decision. So that's a great heads up on that, Jimmy, absolutely. Okay. And yes, we can add in the tickers here for the current positions, absolutely. Let me see here, I have that loaded up. There we go. There we go. All right. So Macy's continuing to come down here. Let me see what else we have on the radar. Let me look at NVIDIA. Just go through NVIDIA here. And we also have Lawton. Lawton, how you doing, buddy?
Good, good.
Awesome, buddy. Do you want to throw some questions out from the audience? As long as we got a little time before the open, I'm just going to keep scanning, but I'm more than happy to answer questions. And I think Ben, I'm not sure if Ben will be able to hear you, but I'll translate through to him anyways.
Okay.
By the way, Ben's on vacation, but he's still working. That's the way we roll here at Verified Investing. Is you can go away anywhere in the world, but you still got to work.
That's right.
Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? So for those of you who are on our website, you can go ahead and leave a comment, a question in the on the website right there, and I have it on this iPad, and I'm going to read them out to Gareth. So let's pick out, okay, this one. So John asks, what newsfeed do you subscribe to?
Oh, it's a good question. So, so a couple things. Newsfeed wise, I do think it's even though I'm a technical trader. Newsfeed wise, I think it's important to stay informed. I have a Market Watch, which is just $19.99 a month. That gives me a lot of headlines on my phone. If I was an investor, I'd definitely be subscribed. Even if you're not paying Verified Investing, I'm always posting information like updates on economic news and chart stuff for free on the website. So always kind of be informed there. And you can sign up for free, by the way, on our website, and you get the push notifications if you download the app. We have an amazing app, by the way. I don't know if a lot of people know that actually, but the app is actually amazing. In fact, I use it all the time when other traders are posting things as well, so that I stay in the loop. And then really other than that, I don't think there's a whole lot. You know, I'll scan through Market Watch. You know, there's a couple other minor ones, but I'm not a big fan of paying for a lot of this stuff. I do Y charts, but that's more for economic data, and it's a lot more expensive because I use it for taking the charts of, like, you know, comparing different charts. That wouldn't be something that you guys would need to subscribe to because it's much more expensive. But yeah, that's really it, to be honest.
Cool. Another question from Bruce. Gareth, what charting company does Verified Investing use? We get this question a lot.
What charting company? Do we even use it?
TradingView?
Just TradingView, yeah. Yeah. Well, and listen, we're working on other things, right? We have algorithms that we're going to be bringing forward. In fact, I think a week from today, we're going to be launching our first scanner for, it's called the Oracle Scanner. It scans for trade setups on an intraday basis. It's going to be all automated. And then we're actually bringing AI, swing trading services and such to the forefront. So it's pretty exciting, and we'll be getting, eventually we're going to be moving away from TradingView, but also having our own feed of live data.
Sure. Max asks, in the live day trading room, do you give exact entries and exit positions?
Heck yeah. No one would, honestly, honestly, no one, I don't think anyone would subscribe if I wasn't giving exact entries. Dr. B's on vacation too, I tell you, man. We do a big live event and they all leave me. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. But, but yes, absolutely. Because honestly, like, it's all about transparency in this game, right? It's like, listen, I have plenty of nasty losers out there. That's the nature of the beast. Listen, I make money, but I still have my losers. And in the live trading room, giving exact entries and exits allows people to know that I'm getting in at those levels. It gives them a level to shoot for in live real time. And yeah, any place that's not giving you real time entries and exits, run away from, I would say.
Gotcha. David is asking, do you have any plans to incorporate a stock screener?
Yes, so we just kind of talked about that. It's exciting. So again, look for that next Monday. That's going to be for day trading only, that stock screener. So watch for that. But then hopefully within a month, we'll debut our swing trading one as well. And by the way, the swing trading one will be AI generated. So it's going to be based off the methodology that I teach in the Winning Trader series. So we're looking for all these multi-factor setups that have such high success rate. And it's going to actually improve because it's an AI. So it'll be very cool.
Cool. Diego's asking, good morning, Gareth. Happy Investor Empowerment Day.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you use any indicators in the live sessions. Did you use any when you first started?
So I played around with them for sure. I mean, I think every trader does, right? You trade a little, you know, you try different things. But over time, the trust in the purity of trend line analysis, parallels, topping tails, reversal signals, it's just so pure, simple, and it keeps the chart clean. I find that traders, and you can go on YouTube and see a million traders using all these crazy things on their charts, is that once you get into too many indicators, you get cross signals. meaning that some signals will tell you not to go long, some will get, and it starts to become more confusing, and it actually keeps you away from taking good trades.
Cool. So we're getting, you just mentioned the Winning Trader Series. We're getting a lot of questions about that.
Guys, and by the way, I promised you guys 60% off the Winning Trader Series. This is actually the final sale. I've even told Lawton, I said, after this, no more sales. I hate sales. I'm going to tell you why. I don't like sales because then everyone just says, hey, I'm going to go 6 months and not buy the Winning Trader Series because I'll just wait for the next sale. No. You're just costing yourself way more money by waiting. Like literally that 6 months could be worth tens of thousands of dollars in smart trading and investing. So last sale, guys, all our courses are on sale on the education page. Go check them out. Take advantage of it. I'm dead serious. Like, you really study that Winning Trader Series and you literally will catapult yourself to where I was probably 10 years in as a trader, already profitable. Obviously, each person learns at their own pace, and I think that's important to recognize, but it's amazing, and you start to get away from emotional decision making.
Yeah, so one of the questions we have, can I watch it as many times as I want to?
Yes.
From John.
So I believe we have, is it 8-month access?
8 months.
8-month access. It's 20 hours, so you can watch it as many times within that 8 months as you want. My suggestion is at least 3 times. The first time you just absorb what you can, because honestly it's pretty complex. You absorb what you can, and then give yourself a month break. And then obviously look at charts, kind of work on stuff, and then in a month you'll get so much more out of it. And then same thing, maybe wait 2 more months and watch it again. It is life-changing, especially remember the first course is more about my journey and the basics. The second course is more the indicators and the signals that I look for. And then the final course is that's the meat and potatoes. That's like stuff that I created. There's time counts, there's confirmation signal, there's cycle analysis, all that kind of stuff.
Cool. BK asks, how much money do I need to start trading?
Oh, wow. So starting to trade, I would say, again, if you're day trading, I always suggest, I mean, if you're in the US, you need 25. But I would say start with 30 because it's silly to think like the government, the SEC, they'll shut you down if you go $1 or 1 penny below 25. So start with 30, gives yourself a little leg room to make a mistake. Trust me, I still make mistakes, but if you're starting out, you're going to make mistakes. If you're swing trading, start with 5,000, 10,000 bucks, 2,000. But the key is this: don't go all in. That drives me nuts when people go all in, because essentially what they're going to do is they'll make a lot of money on their first second. I mean, not to call you out, but I mean, I think you've experienced that,
definitely.
right? And it's like you make a lot of money on 1 or 2 trades. You think you're king of the castle, and then you get in the bad one and you went too heavy, and then it's like, oh crap, So diversification. So many people say to me, they're like, man, well, I'm not rich, so I don't have the luxury to diversify. Well, you're really just giving away your money then. Like I honestly there's a 5%, interest on a high yield savings. Go do that instead of going all in. Just trust me, slow and steady really does win the race. When I was a new trader, guys, I did exactly what every trader does. Went all in and I kept blowing up my account. And it wasn't until that I actually did small positions, relatively small, where I started to learn TA that my account actually grew consistently.
Gotcha.
All right, one more question, then we got to get back to the markets here.
Let's see. Let me pick a good one. Okay, last question. Let's do this one.
By the way, I love the questions coming in, guys. Really awesome.
So, last question is from Caesar. Hi, I'm a beginner. Which one of your courses subscriptions would you recommend to start with? Straight up beginner from 0.
Beginner. Okay, so we're in the process of developing the apprentice trading library. It's something that we had on the In the Money Stocks website. Now we're in development with it. Start with that to get your feet wet. What I would say, join a couple of the services that give you swing trade analysis plus daily videos. I think that's really helpful. The videos, honestly, are hardcore education. And then eventually, once you just kind of understand the basics, like what a candlestick is, what is a topping tail, those basics, then you want to step up to the Winning Trader Series. And I really tried to make the Winning Trader Series where it appeals to newbies all the way through, where if you're a pro, maybe you don't get as much out of the first course, but the second and third one are amazing. If you're new, it's all the way through. It's just awesome information.
Cool.
Dude. All right, we'll talk. We're going to do some more questions in a little while. Hey, Benny, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Awesome. Do you have anything to add to any of those?
No, I think it was very well spoken. Yeah, the
Wonderful.
Winning
Thank
Trader.
you.
Yeah, the Winning Trader series. I've taken it 3 times, as you had mentioned, and you just learn something new every single time that you watch it. Something, a little nuance here or there that you just didn't realize the last time you did it, and then if you do it every couple months, then you'll have that base experience from what you were doing, and when you go back, you'll notice, okay, so maybe that's why this trade specifically didn't work out. So yeah, it's great.
What's just so people understand, what's your journey, man? Tell people a little about your journey. We got about 5 minutes till the open. I'm gonna just be scanning over here for trading opportunities, but I think it's an interesting journey, man. To people that don't know, I met Ben. I moved to Oregon in 2015, and I joined CrossFit in
That's right.
Oregon, and Ben owned the CrossFit in Oregon, and he kicked my butt almost every day in CrossFit. So how did
That's
you?
right.
What was your journey like, man?
So I was a CrossFit coach and an owner, and COVID hit, and we decided that we weren't going to be running the gyms anymore. So we decided to sell. You had mentioned that you had done some stuff with the stock market, and I didn't really know a whole lot about it. And so as soon as I basically sold the gyms that I was owning and running, then I decided to reach out to you, and that's how it all started. And it was just so exciting that that I could be part of a live day trading room where I got exact entries, exact exits, and I got to do some education as well, and that just kind of piqued my interest. And so
What would you say, like, from the day you picked it up to now, which has been what, about 3 years now? I think 3 years, give or take.
almost 4, yeah.
4 years, yeah. So I mean, like, think about where you are now in terms of your educational knowledge. I mean, I see you over there even discovering things on your own when you're looking at RSI and retraces, some stuff that I'm hoping you eventually put into a service or an educational course, because it's so intriguing. But I mean, it's pretty remarkable the distance you've come, man. So very cool.
Yeah. I look at who I was when I first started. I couldn't take a trade by myself. Like it was that I was that new, and it almost didn't feel like it was possible to do any of this stuff. Like, how do you see the level? How do you choose this? Now I'm actually giving out trade signals and stuff like that. So it's night and day difference.
Amazing. Awesome. All right, so we are 2 minutes away from the open, guys. I see, Ben, you've got a little wedge pattern up here on Macy's. You're watching. Is it starting to? It's actually upticking a little bit above that wedge. Wedges are something we use on the 1 minute. I see Ben's on the 1 minute. We don't have that up for you guys because this is for the Apex Live Day Trading Room, but certainly something we will keep an eye on. I'm noticing NVIDIA is coming down. I'm actually going to unfreeze this chart over here because I want the camera to be able to go to this chart here. So this is the pre-market data. So maybe if we could put the chart on there. Thank you so much. So this is basically what we're seeing here. I'm going to flip it over to my chart real quick for the trading room here. And basically, we're looking at NVIDIA just down ticking a little here. That's actually Tesla. Yep, that's Tesla up right now, but we got NVIDIA there. All right, so NVIDIA is coming in just a tiny bit. And one of the things I'm wondering is, does the Russell lead this week again? And that's going to be something very interesting. By the way, we have some amazing messages from some amazing pros out there that we'll be playing throughout this morning's session. But all right, let's get ready to rock, guys. Markets are just about to open, 40 seconds away. I have Macy's up on one of my tabs here that I want us to keep an eye on. And I know Ben's watching that one.
Yeah, it does look like it's breaking out of that wedge pattern on Macy's.
Yeah, so again, that might not, remember folks, and this is the key, is that you only have opportunities if the chart gives you the opportunities. If something's already breaking out, then you stay the heck away. Don't be an idiot. I mean, not to put it bluntly, but that's really the case. Apple's another one. I want us keeping an eye on Apple here. Apple is now up quite a bit. I have a channel. What's the channel up here? Let's see. Ooh, all right, so I have a level on Apple, potential short at 237.50. All right, here we go, guys. Markets are open.
Yeah,
Markets are open.
in.
All right, Tesla's coming in a little bit. For the trading room, I did not add to Tesla yet. I'll let you know if I do. Ooh, Apple, nice little sell here.
Yeah, it was 261.84 pre-market on Tesla.
That's incredible. Oh, yeah, nice little dip there. Okay. Apple kissed my upper range. You guys can see that on the chart. So this is what we call a channel, and look at how it's already coming in. I was hoping it would just touch 237, 237.50. Now, the thing is this, is if it goes back up there, you don't necessarily want it, because what that's telling you is that buyers are coming back in. If it goes and pierces it, maybe there's an opportunity, but I will have to find another factor there. This is factor-based trading. This isn't about just guessing. Guessing gets you nowhere but losing money. You ask the trading room that. We certainly know that. We have to find our factors. Tesla coming in a little bit here. Keeping an eye on that. The Russell remains higher on the day. And again, last week the Russell 2000 had a beautiful move to the upside. 6% gain for the week. I've been a big fan of Zoom. I've talked about that in game plans. We have that in our portfolio at Smart Money Stocks. As well as WBA and some of these other ones. In fact, let me do a quick check. All right, so Apple's starting to move back up. Let's quickly go over to the Qs. Now, what I do is I generally take the pre-market data away once the market's open. And let me look at the Qs here. All right, so if we take a down-sloping trend line, see this, guys? Down-sloping trend line right there. That's going to be resistance right here. So we still have a ways to go. This orange line is from a daily chart. I'm going to erase that for now. So we actually would have to rally significantly. How's Macy's doing, Benny?
Macy's is bouncing a little bit.
A little bit? Okay.
Yeah, after I took off extended trading hours. Yeah.
Okay. Vehi mentioning Lulu big GAN level at 279. Let's bring up Lulu here. So again, folks, we've had courses taught by my old partner, Nick Santiago, that was on GAN. Amazing course. Try to get him back to do one of those per year. Yeah, I'm also seeing Vehi at 283 on a Lulu would be a little bit of a level as well, but that's a higher risk level. Let's go to the 1 hour. Also a trend line. Yep.
Lulu's only down 1.51% though. That's the only.
That's true. That's true.
Issue with that.
Okay. Tesla continues to come in here. Take a look at Nike real quick. Ooh, Nike coming in a little bit as well. Not enough for a trade. Natural gas is coming in. Guys, swing trade level on natural gas that I've talked about with you guys in the game plan is not too far away. Let me bring up my natural gas chart for the live viewers here and on the home page. But if we flip back to the daily chart, you can see that yellow line right down here at around 215. That's a very, very good level right there.
Baidu's having a nice day on the downside as well.
Yeah, that was one of our big winners last week on a swing trade basis. I was actually eyeing that this morning to potentially rebuy. I wonder if it could get down. There's a gap that wasn't quite filled at around $86.85. Be an amazing opportunity. I think, honestly, China stocks, guys, and again, one of the things on China stocks is that if Trump wins, there's more tariffs probably on China, and I think that's why you're getting China stocks to be under some pressure here this morning. All right, just scanning through here. Apple did push up and tag that 237 level, but remember what I said, guys, is that it was already kind of up there, so I'm not taking it, although it is pulling back a little bit here. You can see that beautiful channel line. It's a great little area there. It's a big move on Apple. I mean, again, $3.3 trillion market cap. We did get earnings this morning from Goldman Sachs. Yeah, Goldman's getting a bid today. No shortable level yet on Goldman. I'll throw up the chart on Goldman here as well. Let me show you this channel pattern here.
You were talking about Donald Trump. DJT is actually up 35%.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, it was up as much as 50+%.
Do you have our scanner up, Ben? Anything going on there?
I don't. So many different things. Need need another screen.
Yeah, I'm looking at Snowflake. Let's look at Snowflake on the 10-minute chart. Yep, that's coming down. Yeah, that was a bottoming tail on Friday on Snowflake. It's hard, guys. This is actually really tricky. You can bring the camera back to me if you want. But yeah, this is really tricky to do this. And I don't have my normal screen set up. All these screens are a lot smaller than what I use over in the trading room. But it is tricky to trade off of this. There's no doubt about it. Fun, though. Fun, though, to do it kind of live.
In your DJ booth?
Yeah, I know, in my DJ booth. Got to pump up the volume.
Yep, pump up the volume and dance.
All right, let's see here what we got. Let's look here.
It's got a little bit more to go, but SWBI, it's got a gap fill at 1638. Maybe a little bit higher.
All right, just keeping my eye here, guys. Yeah, nice little flush here. All right, so we got a potential double bottom on Snowflake coming up. 132.20, 132.20. All right, there you go. You can see that on the screen there. So that's a little double bottom. It's coming up here, folks, about 60 cents away, 65 cents away. Let's keep an eye on that. I like that flush because it was a bottoming tail pivot low. And so the nice thing about bottoming tails is that if it hits and closes below, it's an easy stop out, right? So and it negates the bottoming tail. If it doesn't and it bounces, then you're good to go. But that's really the concept behind it.
Yeah, Con saying Celsius just crashed.
Oh, let's
That's a
bring
big
up
drop
Celsius.
on Celsius, yeah.
I'm going to bring up your screen as well, Ben, here. Let me get yours up there.
10% move.
And I'm drinking one right now. What the heck? Guess I'm going to drink another one soon here. That stock is volatile, though. I think we've seen that. I mean, that stock is one of the most volatile, maybe because it's not super thick. But look at that little flush there. All right, keep an eye on Snowflake here. It's getting a small bounce. Volume's pretty light today. I'm noticing that. The volume, again, is on the lighter side. Spiders are up $2.30. When I say the spiders, by the way, guys, everyone watching out there, that's your S&P tracking ETF. That's the one that most day traders will follow on a regular basis and even trade, unless you have a futures account. NVIDIA is only up 60 cents or so. Amazon's flat on the day. Qualcomm, a little bit of a bounce. Micron's up $1. VXX, which again is volatility, is down again. So volatility moving lower here. Ooh, JP Morgan. Yeah, so the bank stocks are having a big day today. Goldman's up 10. Let's see here. Microsoft's up $1.70. Google's up $1.50. So the Mag 7-ish are doing pretty well. All right, we're still keeping an eye on Snowflake here, but it would have to flush more. Looking at Celsius, nothing going on yet. It's not low enough. I have a downsloping trend line on Celsius at 51.75 if it gets there for a trade. Gold is flat on the day.
Take a look at Tesla.
Take a look here.
Could be a potential ad level.
Tesla, yep. I actually like this as a potential ad level.
So I believe we got up to 261.84 pre-market.
Yep, so we're right in that zone. All right, I just added, folks. All right, so to my short, I added a 3/10 position, so I doubled up 3/10 position at 261.40, 261.40 here on Tesla. That's a short 261.40 on Tesla. It's a 3/10 position. Okay, so inching in just a little bit. Average price 254.82 on that one. And as I mentioned, guys, I don't know how many new people are tuning in right now, but last Friday we were short Tesla. We made $14 on the second half on the short side, and then we re-entered when it popped back up, and just starting small, just inching in, and slowly accumulating for a little bit of a dip. Well, you got Macy's up on there. I see Macy's starting to come in a little bit.
Yeah, Solar Edge is getting beat down as well. So we have about another $1.12 for a drop on Macy's before I get interested.
Nice. Keep my eye on Snowflake here as I do multiple things. I got to be aware of the streams with you guys, the trading room, post there, the trades, the charts, my own account. You know, nothing like multitasking. Lawton, if you have any good questions, buddy, feel free to just yell them out. I don't even think you need to be on camera. You could just let us know. Just while we're kind of keeping an eye on things here for potential trading setups.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Jared asks, as a noob, is it a good idea to trade, which means go in and out, more on the indexes since it's more stable than in individual stocks? And what is a good amount of percentage or time one should stay in a stock before offloading for a profit?
That's a good question, right? So number one, if you're just starting out day trading, I would say that the best way to do it is to I actually kind of like that. I never even thought about that. But the nice thing about the indexes is they're much more stable. You're not going into like a GameStop that's going to whip 20% in a day or something like that. And so maybe learn on those as you're not going to get hammered too much. And then in terms of profits, this is the biggest thing that most traders don't understand is that you base how much you're taking on a profit based on what the chart is. You know, so how much volatility in the chart? Like a stock that's up or down 50 cents on the day, you can't be like, oh, I'm buying it when it's down 50 cents. I'm going to look for $1 gain on a day trade. Like that's unrealistic. And so what you want to do is you want to basically say to yourself, okay, if it's down 50%, there's what Ben and I call the 10% rule, is that for every dollar something's down, you look for a 10-cent bounce. That's your kind of minimum. Now, you can look for a little bit more, but you may want to employ like a break-even stop once you're above that, something to protect yourself in that position. So I do think that, again, you want to base it each individual trade depending on the volatility on how much you're looking. So if something's down $10 on the day, then you can look for a $1 bounce. If something's down $20, $2 bounce. And again, if something's down $20 and you get a $2 bounce, you can also take half the profits off the table, let the second half run with a break-even stop. There's lots of maneuvers of how you can do these type of things. So that's a good question. I'm just kind of scanning through. Celsius not doing much here. And Snowflake not doing much here. Let me see here. Apple. Oh, man. Look at Apple, guys. And this is, by the way, this is real trading. Like this, I'm going to jump out here. I want to show you guys this. And the trading room you may not be able to see, but that's all right. Ben can just put it on his. But basically, so this was my level on Apple. And remember, it got close at the open, and I'm like, oh, I think I'll skip it. There you go. Did it work? Yep. Sometimes you got to shut the old mind off and just say, hey, the level's the level. And look at this fall on Apple from 237 and change. What was the high today? 230, that's just on the 10-minute chart, but 237 and change to 234. That's a channel. Channels are amazing. I saw some people starting to refer to me as the channel trader because I use channels so much. But man, oh man, that's a nice channel, and that's a great kind of situation on a rollover. So are we seeing more of a rollover? Let's look through here. JP Morgan's come in, was up 5, now up 3.5. Goldman Sachs was up 10, now up 7.5. All right, so we're starting to see a little bit of profit taking here. It's nothing major yet. But these are the types of things a trader has to be aware of, because if things start sliding like we saw last Thursday, that can be a big, big deal. NVIDIA's gone negative. Wow. Okay. It's starting to get a little bit more interesting. Good pullback on, guys, great pullback on Tesla, back to 257. So our ad level, we're already $4 in the money. By the way, any guys out there watching the stream on YouTube, if you happen to take my first entry, I would recommend taking half off the table for a $4 gain right there. And then if you want to let the second half run, more power to you. But just, again, protect yourself. I'm not in the money yet on my trade, so, again, I'm not going to do that. I think it's going to come down even if I have to hold it for a day or two. But I just want to give you guys that heads up on Tesla. It's a great little pullback here. What do you got on Solar Edge there, Ben?
Well, I was just looking at it, and it had a nice bounce. I was expecting it to drop down to basically 26.88. I have this, I believe that's a gap fill. Pretty big drop on Solar Edge as well.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I see in our trading, Apex Live Day Trading, Cornelius saying SMCI flushing. Holy cow, look at SMCI. All right. Aggressive trade, guys, but gap fill on SMCI. Aggressive trade, but coming up at 910. Pierce of 910 if it gets there. Aggressive trade. By the way, for those of you that are new, aggressive trade means it's not for everyone. You have to be ready for significant volatility, and you want to be probably going smaller share size when it's aggressive. Ooh, that's a nice flush on SMCI, though.
It was up over $50 on the day.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's see what's going to go on here, and then we're going to take a quick 30-second break. We want to make sure we splice in some of these amazing videos from some of our big traders and participants out there. We even got a David Lynn one. David Lynn made a little video message to you guys out there today, which is really cool. Dang it, as soon as I say that, SMCI starts to bounce. those hedge funds, man, they're watching over my shoulder. They're saying, no, no. Amar saying Hood is into some resistance at 23.50. I want to bring that one up. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is Robinhood, HOOD. Yeah, just not a big enough move. I like the double top on Hood, though. 24.25 if it got up there. 24.25, maybe a little resistance on Hood right up there, guys. Here, I could put a line in for those of you that can't see that here. So we're looking essentially at this little double top. As a day trader, you're just looking for little moves, right? Let's keep an eye on SMCI. Nope, that's getting a big bounce now. Dang it. All right, so and one of the principles of the methodology that I teach guys is that when you get close to a level and you bounce, you generally want to be very careful if it retraces. Now on Apple, it did that and it worked out perfectly. But in this situation, again, I've just learned that if they push it down, so this is a kind of a weird thing that I've learned here. I'm going to draw this on the chart. I'm going to come over here on this. So if we look at this, right, here's your SMCI chart, and it's a huge flush from the opening push, right? I mean, this was up to $960. It got down to almost $910. That was the gap fill. So if I'm sitting out here as a buy right at gap fill, and they bring it this close to me buying it, right, so close, what ends up happening here is if I keep my order here and they at some point they drop it again, the only reason the algos and the bots are going to give me those shares is if they're going to flush it through. And now listen, that's not an absolute. It's not like every single time, but probability, you know, I deal with a world of probability here. Probability wise is if they obviously didn't want to fill me and other traders at gap fill. If they come down and push it there again and they fill us, the only reason they're giving us those shares, it's not so that we can make money on a bounce, it's so that it's going to go lower first. So what I have to do then as a trader is I have to say, okay, so maybe gap fill's not the spot, but maybe this low, and just buy it lower, a little bit lower, okay? And also you have these levels right down here, which are right in that same vicinity. So just a heads up on that. That's something I've learned the hard way, where if you leave your order out there and they give it to you at a later date, and by the way, we're starting to come in a little bit again here as we speak, then you're like, oh crap, I wish I'd canceled it because I would be out of that, or I'm out of the money now. These little nuances, by the way, they don't teach you this stuff. I mean, I went to college for economics, and they certainly didn't teach me how to trade, that's for sure. I was basically taught the mantra, you know, PE ratios, you know, all the stuff that they want you to learn that really has nothing to do with trading and entry prices.
that's more for long-term investing and stuff, right? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
in theory, yes.
Yeah, they don't teach you how to be a nimble investor or trader in school. That's for sure. That's something that you got to learn. It's called the school of hard knocks. Get punched around by the market a little bit, and then you learn. All right, just jumping back to Apple real quick. Wow, Apple just keeps going lower. Amazing. Tesla. Yep, Tesla bounced back up, guys. Any of you guys who took a little bit of profits there, good job. Still below my second entry there, but nonetheless, it did bounce back up. By the way, I really believe that zero-day options are having such a big impact on these crazy runs, like in something like Tesla that was up 9 days in a row. Just incredible moves in Tesla, you know, for 9 days. And what happens is the retail investor crowd buy the zero-day options, and institutions that are selling these options, they have to basically cover themselves by buying the stock, because if the stock runs and they're caught off guard, then they end up taking massive losses. So the more zero-day options that are bought on a stock, the more the institutions have to buy the stock to protect themselves, and the more that causes, it's almost like self-fulfilling. It causes that stock to move up. Fascinating stuff. All right, so what I want to do now, guys, is we're going to take a quick 30-second break to just hear from, who should we hear from, Justin? What do you think?
Let's hear from Dr. B.
Dr. B. Dr. B has a special message from you guys, so we're going to take 30 seconds here, and we'll come right back. Here's Dr. B.
I'm Dr. B at Verified Investing. Welcome. Today we have created Investor Empowerment Day, and this is a great holiday that we have devised here at Verified Investing that will empower investors to educate themselves and allow themselves to be knowledgeable about the markets for the rest of their lives. You can learn this right now. Don't be intimidated by all of the numbers and charts that you see in the stock market. Come here to Verified Investing and we will teach you how technical analysis works, how the stock market works, how upgrades and downgrades work, what market cap means, what volume and shares traded means, right? All of these different things we talk about every single day on the Apex Day Trading Room. We also have a variety of other services and courses which will teach you and help empower you to take hold of your financial future. Many people give their accounts to their financial advisor, and sometimes that is the easiest and maybe the safest way to go about investing. But if you really want to dig in and learn about investing and become the smart money, it's out there for the taking. You just have to do it and put the time in. We are here to help you. Take care.
All right, guys, from Dr. B. That's awesome, folks. So we'll be spinning the wheel in just a minute as well, the Wheel of Appreciation. Guys, remember to be incorporated into that and be able to win. And I think the Range Trading Mastery course was it landed on that on Friday, so we'll be giving away Range Trading Mastery today. But also don't forget, guys, in part to this Investor Empowerment Day, we knocked our prices of our courses way down. So if you're going to ever take advantage of a sale, this is it to do. You want my Winning Trader series, it's right there to be had. 60% off today, and a lot of the other courses are anywhere between 20-30+% off. Definitely the day to pick it up if you guys are interested. And also, for those of you in the Apex Live Day Trading Room, the requirement to be able to post and ask questions is the Winning Trader series. The reason is based on that people that we want posting messages are people that understand the technicals, so that I'm focused, like literally I'm trading intraday with you guys. I need people that are like-minded, that are scanning the charts, that are finding the stuff that we trade, not random questions that, it's like, well, what's a candlestick? Well, that's not the appropriate. I mean, that's a great question, but it's not. When we're trading, and I'm here to make money. I know Ben and Dr. B with me in the Apex Live Day Trading Room are here to make money. We're trading our own accounts. I can't be distracted. And so just a heads up, once you purchase that, you'll get access to ask questions. Give it 24 hours, obviously, to get that permission on your account in the Apex Live Day Trading Room. Pretty cool stuff. All right, watch this, guys, on Goldman. Take a look at this. If we go to the daily Goldman, it's reversing today. Goldman Sachs has now turned negative, and that is what we call a topping tail on the daily chart. But just remember, it's still very early in the day. So as of now, this is a topping tail, and this would be a major top signal on Goldman. but it's still early. We have to see where it closes. If it closes up here, it wouldn't be a topping tail. So it has to close. Basically, the rules of topping tails are as follows, is that number one, it has to be the highest point in recent history. It obviously is. It has to be a big candle from top to bottom. It is. And it has to have the tail portion in the wick is the top part here. This has to be at least 50% of the length of the candle, and the close has to be in the lower 25%. If those strict criteria are met, then you have a topping tail, and what it does is it tells you the probabilities are heavily to the downside at that point. So I'll be watching that later today to see if we put in that topping tail on Goldman Sachs. But yeah, little things like this. I mean, it's all rule-based, which makes investing so much easier and trading so much easier, because it's like there's no kind of guesswork. It's like it is or it isn't. What are you seeing, Ben? Anything?
I'm just keeping an eye on Celsius and Solar Edge and Macy. There doesn't seem to be any like really good price action. I mean, you do have Celsius that broke out of this downsloping trend line. However, again, there's no continuation on it. So I'm just going to continue to monitor it. If it gets down to 52.25, I have a level down there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what I'm seeing too, yeah.
That I'd be more interested in. Yeah, it's double bottom area. So
okay,
it doesn't have too far to go.
No, it definitely doesn't. And this stock has a tendency to have big reversals there. Let's see what else we have here on the radar. So let me look at Apple. We're just going to scan through some of the bigger ones we trade. And by the way, one thing I want to make clear on too, and Apple's had a good bounce here after about a three move, almost 3 bar down. It's getting a bounce on the third candle here. But one of the things that you'll see about our trading room here at Verified Investing is we trade the big stocks. You know, we're trading, billion-dollar companies. There's so many trading floors out there or trading rooms out there that trade micro caps, and all they are doing is like pump and dumps. It's ridiculous. I have no interest in small micro stocks because I'm investing large enough money where I can't even get in and out, let alone every member. I want every member to get basically the same price I do, and within a penny or two on a mega cap like Apple, and then we can all profit together and we all get out together. These other rooms out there, a lot of them, they just trade these pumps, and it's kind of ridiculous. So you'll see that. It's like a lot of people will be like, well, why aren't they looking at like this tiny stock here? It's making a 300% move today. I have no interest whatsoever. We make money the real way. All right. What about, you got another question here for us, Lawton?
So one thing, Mark says, I closed my Celsius position for a 10% gain.
Oh,
Thank you. Should I step back in around 54?
All right, so he closed his Celsius position for a 10% gain. Should he step in at 54? So we're actually below that now. So you're getting even a better entry. So a couple things. So I like what Ben just mentioned, 52.25 to 51.75 area. You got this beautiful, look at this downsloping trend line on the chart here. If you can see this, I'll pop over to the chart here. So I'm a big fan of these this is what we call hidden trend lines, folks, in our business. It's a trend line that like it cuts through here. And so most people are like, they don't really see it because it goes back and it's angled and so forth. But this is the stuff I really like. So you can see you broke out, and now you're retracing to the scene of the crime here. And the idea is you get there. So anywhere in that vicinity, beautiful down-sloping trend line right there. I think that would be a beauty as an opportunity. And listen, the biggest thing for me, remember when I start my swing trades, I basically dip the pinky in or the 2 fingers in, whatever it is. And the idea being is that you don't know, it could easily break because you do have other lines down here or other levels down here. And so leave yourself maneuverability. Maneuverability is the key to profitable trading. When you go all in, what happens? You basically put handcuffs on yourself and you just start hoping and praying, right? That's what it is. You're all in, you can't buy anymore, you can't maneuver, and you're handcuffed. And so when you buy a small starter position, sure, if you're dead on and you nailed that low perfectly, you won't make as much. But it's much better to make less, but on the down moves, when you're getting crushed on a trade, be able to maneuver and still maybe make a gain or a small loss versus getting crushed on one where you went all in and it just continues to go down. So just my 2 cents. And again, it comes right from years and decades of experience and going through a lot of the hardships that I would hope everyone can kind of avoid. Yep, let's do another question, sure.
We're getting a lot of questions about the Apex Live day trading room. Ken F says, "Hi G, I'm interested in adding the Apex day trading service to my swing trade subscriptions, but I couldn't commit to 5 days per week. Probably 2 days per week is doable. In order to achieve a positive average trade outcome over time, is 2 days per week enough, or is it necessary to commit full time as 5 days a week to achieve positive gains? I'm also thinking that the quarterly results season is a good time to jump in, as I expect that would be a very active period."
That is extremely active, yes. So a couple things. So the Apex Live day trading room, folks, if you ask all of our members when most of our trades occur, they occur in the first hour of the day. I would say that after the first hour, there might be 1 trade a week after that point versus at least 2. You know, generally we probably average 2 in that first hour every single day versus 1 the entire rest of the time. So number one, if you can devote an hour, 9:30 to 10:30 in the morning, you'll probably rock it better than most people, or really well. The other thing too is that, you know, even 2 days a week being in there, the amount of education that you'll pick up. I mean, think about this. Imagine if someone was selling a trading course where you could ask questions, assuming you have the Winning Trader series. You know, it's almost like a live workshop. And so it's incredibly, like people, your learning curve spikes dramatically with being in there, even for a couple days a week. So it is worth it. You know, sure, you're not going to make every trade, because we will have trades on some days when you're not in there, but it certainly is well worth it, in my opinion. And the beauty of it is, remember, we only do monthly, so you can always try it out for a month, and if you're like, not for me, you cancel. My goal here with monthlies is to basically, you know, it's almost like we have to prove ourselves every month, right? If we don't perform, then people say, you guys aren't good enough, and so we just got to perform to keep you. That's what it is.
Well, can we show a video?
Yeah, let's do a video. Who we looking at next?
I think we have a special guest, Gary Cardone.
Oh, Gary Cardone, a good friend of ours here, who just lives south of us in a beautiful, beautiful home on the water. All right, so let's take probably about a minute, I'm assuming, for Gary's little message to us. And again, Investor Empowerment Day, baby. Let's just be empowered and control our financial future. All right, here he is.
If you're not investing in yourself ever, in this economy or any other, you're making a mistake. Invest in yourself first. Now, hey, do you invest your money that you've worked so hard for into a market? If you're not exceeding the cost of living, you are going backwards. Okay, so getting a small little raise and then having to deal with 10% inflation a year is not going to help you. You guys need to really think about putting your money to work, okay? And studying how your energy, the energy you've created in fiat, can then be multiplied and leveraged. So anything you can do to study of how to use money as energy, strongly encourage you to do it. You may need a professional to help you. There's tons of books to read. Investing is a talent, and it follows particular pathways of success. If you follow those people that are the most successful, you'll probably do pretty well.
All right, we're back, guys. Thank you, Gary. Awesome message right there, buddy. So I just see a message from Hong here in the trading floor chat room. He says, entered coin short, 10-minute topping tail is intact. So let's take a look at this trade here. Hong, great job. I love that you saw this. So let's talk about topping tails again, guys. This is one of the key components that we look for in trading. I'm going to jump over to the chart right here. We're going to dissect this trade. And so what we can see here is that you have a topping tail right here, and notice how the idea here is it's a low-risk trade because the stop out is so distinct. And so what Hong did right here is entered right here at basically the top. If this candle just closes above, it negates the topping tail. So there's a way where you can look at these. So a topping tail is a reversal candle. It's a signal that likely, probability-wise, you're going to see downside. Not a guarantee, probability-wise. But the idea is that if we just close up here on this 10-minute candle, which still has about 6 minutes to go, then he would just exit for a small loss. Very calculated risk to reward ratio on a trade, which is what data trading is all about. How do you analyze the risk, the reward, etc.? And right now it's above, so we'll see where it ends. But either way, that's a great opportunity to keep your loss very small. But potentially, if this were to roll over, the idea is a topping tail could play out all the way down here, and the gain would be large. So very nice little heads up there on that, Hong. Appreciate that, buddy. We'll keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, it's a great topping tail.
Yeah, and I love the retrace, full retrace on that too. Yeah, I can flip over here to my screen, and you guys can see the topping tail there on the live day trading room. So let's keep our eyes open here as we're going through. So Apple's back up $4.70, still $2 off the highs of the day. Microsoft stabilized, Amazon's up. Google's up $2. That's a pretty nice move. Netflix is having a big move. Remember, Netflix has earnings, guys. So earnings on Netflix. I'm actually, listen, I already have a swing trade short on this going into earnings. I continue to be in the camp that I do think that there's massive resistance up here. And I honestly just think it's gotten a little bloated up here. It is best of breed. There's no doubt about it. We've seen Paramount now merging. WBDs at 52-week lows. But these type of things, to me at least, the divergence, there should be a reversion trade at some point where Netflix does come in. So we'll watch and see how that goes. Keeping an eye on Coinbase here. Yeah, Coinbase topping tail is right there. It's still hanging in there. Again, we still have about 3 minutes to go. And this is based on, so this is an important educational piece, guys. If you're using a topping tail on the 10-minute chart, you must use the close above on the 10-minute chart. You can't be like, oh, well, I'm going to use the hourly. No, if it's a 10-minute topping tail, you use the 10-minute. If it's an hourly topping tail, you use the hourly close. Really important about the time frames. And this is, the rules are meant to kind of keep you, number one, from getting emotional, and number two, it just keeps you in line. Because it's really the emotion. When you start to get emotional over a trade, that's when things start to go wrong. And I think that's super, super important to recognize. You know, these little tidbits are so, these little nuggets of information. Here we go, Hong. It's starting to pull back. Good job, buddy. Very nice. Yeah, we could do that, Scott, no doubt. Amar mentioning Tesla's breaking down on a 1-minute parallel. We'll look at that in just 1 second. If we go over to the big board there, you guys can see that the topping tail, see how price has now come back below the high of that topping tail, that one candle there. So that's what you're looking for. So in about 2 minutes, as long as we close below that high, this trade is still intact and still doable. If it closes above, it's over. It's done. It negates that factor, which is why Hong entered the trade. Thanks, Hong, buddy. Appreciate you throwing that out there. This is, and by the way, see what he's doing here? This is exactly why I like people that have taken the Winning Trader series to be able to post this type of stuff, because it adds to the quality of the room, and it makes it so much better. Like, imagine if someone was just posting, like, what do you think? I mean, this happens, unfortunately, sometimes, too, but, like, what do you think about ABC, Ben? What do you think about that? And we're like, wait, so what time frame are you talking about? Like, what are you seeing here? Like, and we spend like 5 minutes trying to figure it out, and it wastes time when we could be making money and we could be calling out this type of stuff. So it's, again, it's just kind of that key. Nice job, Tracy, just posting. She took $1.40 on the coin short. She said, thank you, Hong. There you go. Very cool.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
good job.
Great job. All right, I want to jump over real quickly to the Tesla chart that was just mentioned. All right, so the 1 minute. This is, and by the way, this is what Dr. B trades. He trades the 1 minute, so this is what we're looking at. I don't know. Do you have the channel on that, Ben, that was being discussed?
Let me see.
Bringing it up here.
Is it?
Maybe right here. I don't know if that could be a little bit.
1 minute parallel channel? Okay.
Yeah. I also see a little wedge, too. Well, the wedge might be of interest, too.
No, I don't see the parallel channel.
Yeah. All right, so we'll keep an eye on it. Let's jump back to Coinbase here. Yeah, Coinbase is right there. It is right there. Got to go to the 10-minute chart. There's your Coinbase. Nice job. Lawrence grabbed 70 cents on Coinbase short. Great job, Lawrence. And again, that's the quality that we're talking about. People that understand what we're looking at, the probabilities. And there it is. So it just closed, guys. Let me jump back to my screen here up front here so I can show you guys. So just to go over this, and this is the rule-based stuff. So the beauty of this is a lot of newer investors, they'll get very emotional about being like the adrenaline pumps. It's like, oh my God, I'm in this trade, I'm in this trade. Once you have rule-based, which is any close above that on the 10-minute chart, you just stop out. It's kind of like, it is what it is. You know your exit, you know why you're getting in, the probabilities are in your favor at this stage, and you just do it. And I think that's the key about technical trading and investor empowerment. Empower yourself with the knowledge that you don't have to be emotional. You don't have to be, your heart doesn't have to go a million miles a minute just because you're just looking at what's on here. And here we can see very clearly, yeah, sure, it got above, never closed above, so this is still intact, and it still favors a downside move. If it closes above, what do? You exit. That's it. Simple. Simple. So, pretty cool stuff.
Celsius is coming in. We've got about 20 cents to go. CELH.
Oh, Celsius. All right, let's take a look at Celsius here. Oh, yeah, that is coming in nicely. All right. So, yeah, there's a level. So the double bottom's at around 52.25, and then the down-sloping line's at 51.70. But it is continuing to sell. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. Celsius. Want to do another question? Well,
yep.
Sure. Let's see what we got.
I have a couple for you.
All right, perfect.
First one comes from Irish Joe Crypto. He says, good morning. Do you stay strict with your levels or allow for more deviation in a high volatility, low volume environment, such as the summer sessions or trading crypto on the weekends?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So the answer to that is that in terms of volatility, the more volatility you have in a market or a trade, you have to buy smaller share size because you're likely going to have to maneuver more. Now, if you have something like a topping tail, it's a very defined stop out. But sometimes you'll find that you have a level here, and then there's another level just above, and then there's another level here. You don't know in a volatile market which one is going to be the one that sees the reversal take place on a short, or if it's pulling back, where do you buy, here, here, or here to get a bounce? And so what you do is you have to leave yourself that leniency, essentially that maneuverability, absolutely, to be able to maneuver in and out. So that's a good question. But definitely the more volatile a market or a stock or a crypto, the more you may have to maneuver unless you have one of these specific rule-based trade setups that's very strict like that.
Cool. All right, Celsius is in that level.
Comment.
Celsius.
GH.
Right. Hold on.
So,
go ahead.
Are you going to pick up any, Ben? What are you thinking?
I was thinking 52.16. I know I said the 52.25 level, but 52.16 is actually the double bottom.
Okay. All right, so Celsius is now kissing that double bottom, folks. I'm going to stay out unless it comes a little bit lower myself, but it's right into this zone. This double bottom, and it is oversold. Are you seeing any negative or positive divergences, Ben, on the RSIs?
Yeah, it does have some positive RSI divergence, which is a benefit to the trade.
Bring that up for people here as well.
The only thing I don't like is the fact that, so this comes back to the volatility, right? So the volatility, there's not a whole lot of volatility, so it's staying pretty weak. I like the RSI to get up to the 50 and then come back down. And this is just staying right around the 30.
Yep, I see it here.
So, yeah, it's just flushing that level.
All right. So here, I just want to show the positive divergence that Ben's talking about here, guys. So what you have here is this low, and then see how the RSI is higher, but price has gone lower. What that's telling you is the selling is starting to slow down, the pressure of the selling, and there might even be some accumulation buyers here. Doesn't mean get in the trade. It just, these are little helpful hints that you can use when you're entering. Like if I didn't see any positive divergence, I probably wouldn't even be thinking about entering in this scenario. But for me, if it gets a little bit lower, I am interested here. Yeah, Tesla's at the highs of the day here. All right, there you go, guys. We just flushed. We just flushed on this. All right. All right, guys, I am long 1/10 position at 51.88. 51.88 here, just a 1/10. This is a maneuverability as it could go a little bit lower, but I am long 51.88. I repeat 51.88. 51.88. Interesting. All right.
It's a big
let's see what
flush
happens.
out. It's down
That
12%.
And that's one of the things is you want to see the volume increase there too. And notice how I left myself room. I just started small, little toe in the water here. There's no reason to be a hero. I probably would add every 30 cents down or so. Lots of maneuverability. You did get a nice little volume spike on the 1 minute on that little flush. Not as big as I'd like to see, though, to be honest. But let's see if we get a bounce. Look at it, went right down to my little white level there on the chart up there. See that? See that white trend line? That was that down-sloping trend line here. Let me go to my bigger time frame. Look at that. Right there. The power of trend lines, man. It's amazing. And listen, it doesn't, by no means does it tell me I'm going to have a profitable trade here, but it just gives the odds slightly in my favor. And if I can be the house of a casino versus being the gambler, I'll take that every day of the week. Just scanning through. Apple still up about $4 on the day. Amazon is up 40 cents. Microsoft up 65 cents. Google's still up 2. Netflix up 14. JP Morgan, big fade on JPM. It's only up 270, was up 5. All right, we're starting to get a bounce back above 52 here. Let's see if we can see a little bit more. NVIDIA is still down on the day, 40 cents, but that's nothing on NVIDIA. That's like a yawn.
Yeah,
Tesla's
NVIDIA.
actually made new highs.
NVIDIA is a wild mover.
Yeah, it is. Tesla up 6% on the day. Incredible. All right, Celsius coming down again, folks. My next ad will be a little bit lower. A simple little ad, nothing crazy, another probably 1/10. You'll see a lot of times the way I do it is I do a 1/10, 1/10, and then I have a 2/10 position, and then I'll do another 2/10 to bring my average down even more. So then I'll have a 4/10, and you can kind of maneuver. And then really what we get is by the third or fourth entry, you get a full position, and generally probability, and you can see the track record on the Verified Investing website. You'll see that we win, obviously, a majority of the time. Not every time, though. We definitely have our losers. That's a big drop. 12% on Celsius that's a hefty drop on that stock. Why don't we take another 30-second break here, or a minute break, and we can, David Lynn. Yeah, David Lynn got us a beautiful little commentary here as we're waiting for this Celsius to do its thing here. So why don't we take a look at what he's got to say?
Hi, my name is David Lynn, host of the David Lynn Report. You can see me on YouTube, or perhaps you've already seen some of my interviews with Gareth. I'd like to tell you about some of the lessons I've learned from interviewing hundreds of people over the course of the couple of years. Some of the best investors I've talked to have a few things in common. One, they're very disciplined. Two, they're very methodical. And three, they're very well informed on what's happening in not just the financial markets, but the world. Factoring in as many different data points and facts allows you to come up with a thesis that is adaptable to changing environments. The most successful traders and investors I've talked to aren't dogmatic. They don't just stick to one narrative and forget about changing things when changes in the environment happened. They're able to adapt. Staying informed and educated allows you to adapt, allowing you to become a better and more successful trader and investor.
All right, guys, we are back. All right, so right now, beautiful, kind words from David Lynn, very, very smart words there as well. And what we're seeing here is, again, Celsius is right around my entry point. Nothing much going on. Technical support is holding at this point. I was just flipping back to Coinbase because I wanted to just keep an eye on coin here, as, again, we were watching that little topping tail. And look at that nice little decline. It's starting to come in a little bit. Still not a major drop, but you could see some members in the Apex Live Day Trading Room already took a nice score on it. But the idea is that a topping tail should play out a little bit more. But here's your topping tail again. There was your reversal candle, and then a pause, pierced, but never closed above. And now it's starting to come back in a little bit. So very cool to see that kind of in play based on the technical analysis that we do on a daily basis. And then really at this point, just watching Celsius, but Celsius hasn't dropped enough for me to add yet. And this is the discipline, right? So knowing that you may have to add, so you buy a smaller position, but also looking and seeing, can I get a big enough bounce out of Celsius to then just take the profits and run? And to me, it doesn't matter. It's all about winning trades. I don't care if I make 50 bucks or 500 or 5,000 on a trade. It's the consistency of winning and winning a high percentage of the time that takes you through the end game of success and making you a profitable trader. And by the way, you always, and I think I said this earlier, but you always play for the situation where you could be wrong. So most retail investors or new investors, they get in and here's Celsius, guys, nice bounce on Celsius coming in. I'll tell you guys that in a second. But getting a good bounce here. Come on. See if it can continue up. But yeah, nice little bounce there. So anyways, going as we're watching Celsius here, I'll just tell you guys. So again, most investors when they start trading, and I did this too, and I'm a case study. I mean, literally a case study here, is that you get in and say, hey, I gotta go in and because I'm gonna win. Like in your mind, you've already won the trade. You've already made $1 million, right? And so you go in and you just expect that. And then, you know, what's the old adage, Ben? They say, you know, what does it say about when you get punched in the face? That's really where you start to, you know, how do you handle that, right?
Are you talking about like what Mike Tyson said? Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
So the plan is, oh, it's going to go great. I'm going to become a millionaire overnight, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, there's the punch in the face. How do you react? And so I got punched in the face enough where I started to say, okay, well, buying and going heavy on this position, that's not really a good strategy because when I get punched in the face, I can't do anything. I have no plan. And so that's where you come into a scenario where you say, okay, well, let me start out smaller. I'd rather, you know, if I'm dead on my level, great. I make a little bit of money. It's another winning trade for the day. And then if I don't and it goes against me, how do I react? That's where your plan comes in. So, yeah, let's do another question.
So GH says, first week on Apex Room starting last Monday. Profited over $2,200 in the first week. Nice start at the Apex. Gareth and the guys explained the trades, and learning the trading mindset from the pros is worth every penny of the service. I would have been extremely nervous on some of the trades, but their conviction and knowledge put my mind at ease. I profited from the trades that I would have lost money on if I was trading on my own. Thank you very much, Gareth and the bees.
Dr. B and Ben, I love that. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate the kind words, man. You guys, the kind words are honestly what keeps me driving forward with all that's on the plate here. So I do appreciate it. It's almost like refueling me, and I do appreciate that very much. So wonderful to hear. What about another one here as we're watching Celsius start to push up here a little bit more?
So Adrian says, where do you think money will go after people stop getting 5% return rate on their savings accounts?
That's a good question. So I think it depends on what the economy's doing, right? Because if the economy is in shambles and stocks aren't going to look as good, right, and people are scared, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. All right, guys, I just got out of Celsius, $52.44 right here, $52.44. I am out of Celsius. There you go, $52.44. I just closed out Celsius, $52.44. And that's what we do, guys. Give my exact entry. Everyone can unload right there with me. They generally, if you've been in the trading room long enough, you know what I'm looking for in that scenario. About 50 cents, give or take, on a stock. Notice the stock is down about $7, so you expect about a 50 to 70% bounce, a 50 to 70 cent bounce. That's the 10% rule I divulged earlier. Great job, guys. Michael D saying I got 58 cents on Celsius. Great job. All right, awesome. Very good, guys. I love it.
Yeah, nice job.
There we go. And again, folks, no stress. Was I ever stressed in that position? Like it maybe was. I might have been down 10 cents on it, but I had my level. I started small. I maneuvered in. Little things like that are key, right? And then again, that's the key. And so I made 56 cents on it. A nice little gain there. Not getting too greedy. Notice again, could this go up another $1? Of course it could. But that's okay. Because you know what? There's always another trade. Always another trade. And so that's a beautiful thing right there. Notice the levels. It's all very much strategized. And that's what we do. Again, that's what when we talk about Investor Empowerment Day, that's really what we're talking about, right? And I'm going to walk over and we can look at the chart here of Celsius, right? So how do we empower ourselves in trading? Well, number one, we have a plan. Number two, we have data behind it or technical levels. And these things take away that fear and emotion. And listen, when you're brand new and you're not really sure on this stuff, yeah, you're going to still have some fear and emotion because you haven't done this a zillion trades, right? You haven't traded. I mean, at this point, I probably traded 100,000 plus times in my trading career. And so it becomes very robotic for me. Like, this is a high percentage level. This is where it should be. This is what the odds are. Okay, this is why I take the trade. This is where I add if I need to. But again, you know, I'm not looking for a move back up here. That's greed. Now, it doesn't mean it can't happen, but the odds don't favor that. Again, 10% rule, 10% rule. So remember that rule. If something's down about $5 or $6, so it's dropping 5 or 6 and I'm buying, I'm going to look for approximate 50-cent gain. And I got 56 cents because it was down about down $6 to $7. So I just grabbed it. I have my general idea here. It's in a downtrend. We don't want to get too aggressive here because it is in a downtrend. Granted, it hit that major support that I showed you guys, and we just do it that way. So anyways, just a good example there. And again, you know, it's not like that trade. I mean, I made about $1,000 on the trade, just a little bit more than that. But it's not about. Even if you have a small account and you make $100, it's still the process. It's proving to yourself over and over again that you can make money by following strategic rules. And that, again, by the way, institutions, this is what they use. They might have faster algorithms than us. They might have more money than us. But if you can do this, you're basically competing with the institutions, which is what it's all about. How's Coinbase, speaking of which? I see a couple of you guys took some gains. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. So Coinbase did roll over, guys. And again, that's like a $2+ rollover from the high there where Hong entered. Great job, buddy. Very nice.
Yeah, Tesla's in a wedge pattern right now. It's looking to break to the downside.
Ooh. Let me see if I can bring up that wedge for people to see on my chart here. Are you on the 1 minute, Ben?
1 minute, yes.
Oh, yeah, I see it. So you basically connect right through here. It looks like it's starting to break, right? Right there.
Yeah, it looks like it's breaking to me.
All right, so Tesla's starting to break down. Now, on the 1 minute chart, remember, it doesn't mean it's going to go negative on the day. It's up big. You're just looking for some sort of dip, maybe to technical support right in this vicinity, maybe around 260. But again, it's right borderline on that line that is trying to break down here a little bit. Now, as we get later in the day, one of the strict principles that we use is we are more careful on shorts later in the day, right? So the idea is the big money trades in the morning. That's one of the reasons why we love to trade that first hour, and that's where most of the trades are, because there's the most price discovery in that early period. Once you get beyond that, it becomes the smaller investors, the institutional guys, they go to lunch by like 10:45, 11 o'clock. Now, they might not be eating then, but they'll probably have a drink or two. And then they'll come back around 2 o'clock, right? I mean, that's just the way it goes. And you can see it actually recaptured and came back up on Tesla, came back up. So then it'll have resistance at the upper range. But again, it's just knowing the time frames. And later in the day, small investors don't short a lot. I mean, a lot of you guys maybe that are watching, maybe you've never even shorted. But institutions are the main driving force. So that'll be more. So by the time you get to 10:30, 11 o'clock, you want to be more careful on shorts the odds slowly shift down a little bit. Doesn't mean it can't roll over, but usually 10:30, 11 to about 2, you want to be more careful when the institutional traders are away from their desks. Spiders are up about 0.5% today. That's the S&P. Silver's flat to higher. Nothing going on there. Let me look at oil as long as we're doing some commodities here. Yeah, oil's starting to come down. You guys know I had a high conviction area here on oil on a swing basis. This is more a swing, but that's a nice little dip. Now we just need to break 80.5. We break 80.5, this thing should flush into the 70s. Natural gas has been on my radar for a swing. 24, yeah, that's coming down. Still got a little ways to go to technical support. Let's go back to Celsius. Yep, Celsius bounced even a little bit more. There you go. But again, does that bother me? Because a lot of traders, I hear that from a lot of traders. They're like, oh, darn, like, oh, I could have gotten another 10 cents out of it. I don't even care. Like, you asked me an hour what I traded this morning, I probably can't even tell you. I won't even remember. It's just one more gets filed away. It's done, on to the next trading opportunity. And again, the thing is, there's always another trade. No one ever said, you know, oh, darn, I missed that trade, and it was the last trade ever in the world. So always remember that. Let's see here. Maybe we should get one more question from Lawton, and then I'll spin the wheel. We'll give away the wheel. Well, not the wheel, but...
Yeah, we need the wheel.
And we have a couple more.
We need the wheel, otherwise we can't do our giveaways.
And we have a couple more videos too.
Okay.
But let's see. I see a lot of people taking profits. All right. People say, one question we have from Josafa says, what is the difference between the live day trading room and your swing trade alerts?
Good question. All right, so live day trading room is day trading predominantly. 99% of 99 out of every 100 trades I will do as a day trade, meaning we're in that day and we're out that day. Some trades can be as quick as seconds, to be honest. Now, it's more common that they're minutes or a few minutes long. Some even will last hours long. But in general, 99 out of 100 will be in and out the same day. That's what the definition of a day trade is. There's occasionally a scenario like with Tesla where we made $14 on the short on Friday by holding it overnight, and where I entered again, and now we're maneuvering slowly into a position for another leg lower that I think will come, where we'll hold overnight. But that's generally not the purpose of the live day trading room. And people, really, it's up to people in the room if they want to do it, right? I mean, they can say, nah, I'll just exit. I don't want to tie up my buying power for the next day. The swing trade service, which is smart money stocks and ETFs, is only swings. So we're buying something with the idea that over the next 3 days, 6 days, 10 days, month, it's going to play out for about a 10% gain. Day trades, you can see 56 cents for me on Celsius. That's about what was that, about 1%, Ben, something like that. Versus a swing trade is going to be more in the range of 10, 12, 15% gains, but over the course of days, maybe weeks. So that's just the difference there. You also get the daily videos in the swing trade services. And by the way, guys, I just want to give Ben a shout out here. He just launched his new service, the Earnings Trader with Dr. B. And the Earnings Trader, they had a great post. What stock was it last week, Ben? You guys knocked it out of the park on? Was it Delta Airlines?
Delta Airlines, yep.
Yeah, so Delta Airlines. So they post these levels for after hours and pre-market on earnings. And last week, Delta hit to the penny, literally, I think it pierced by a tiny little bit and bounced to $1.50. And it was an amazing trade, and that's again available on our site. And Ben and Dr. B are giving out those levels. And come Thursday, Netflix earnings. Netflix earnings, they will be going live. To trade those live in a room just for the Earnings Trader members. It's going to be pretty cool there. Okay? All right, so we'll go there and see what we have in that store. And then, all right, so let me do the wheel spin here as we're just kind of scanning through. Notice as it's getting later in the morning, there's less to look at, right? So there's less to look at in the trading side. I'm glad we already got a trade. Some people got the Tesla as well, so it's been a profitable day. But that's what it's all about. It's just consistency, all about consistency. All right. Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's pretty cool, guys. That's very poetic. Winning Trader Series. A free Winning Trader Series. So You guys know it's on sale for Investor Empowerment Day. It'll be on sale, I think, for the next 2 weeks till the end of the month. That'll be when our courses are on sale for. But we'll be giving one away for free. But Lawton, I was asking, are you able to run that scanner for who won the?
I can set that up.
Okay, why don't you come over and set it up here and yeah, you guys can watch a lot. Lawton, you can be on camera, bro. You know, you're always on camera.
Okay.
People love seeing you.
I mean, we do have a couple.
I don't know which computers. Probably on this one over here.
Whichever one you can choose. Yeah, we have a video from Ben and Bill Noble.
Oh, okay. So what do you want to do? Should we do Ben? Should we do your video?
Sure. Let's go.
All right. Let's do it. Here's Ben's video, guys.
Hey, everybody. My name is Benjamin Poole with Verified Investing. I wanted to wish you guys a happy Investors Empowerment Day. So I come from a gym background. So just know that coming from a gym background, no experience with the stock market, that if I can get started, so can you. So if this is something that you feel passionate about, desire for it, please learn it, stick with it, start slow, and just know that if I can do it, you can do it too.
Oh, camera.
All right, guys, here we are back, and Lawton's just prepping the thing to do the spin on the YouTube and Twitter comments so we can figure out who won the range trading mastery course. And again, just to go over this, is that you've now had a little bit of an insight into the live day trading room that Ben, Dr. B, and myself do, and also just kind of the insights into trading strategy that we do. And I hope it's been enjoyable. You know, again, it's a little bit, this is the first time we've done it. My goal would be to do it at least every 3 months, like this, once every 3 months, so you guys can actually get a little insight into it. But again, being Investor Empowerment Day, it was a great day to be able to do it. Other than that, really, so again, we're going to do a spin in just a minute here on the wheel. And what we can do here is we can go over a chart on this. I have another chart set up. Looks like Bitcoin's almost at 63,000. So let's just pop over here and take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, again, guys, this is a chart with no lines on it right now. So what we're seeing here on Bitcoin is that you could make a case that Bitcoin is looking a lot more bullish. And I think the key on Bitcoin is that you have almost this little bit of consolidation, right? It almost looks to me like what we're seeing on gold. The only difference is gold is much closer to the high end for a potential breakout. But I did think it was interesting, and you know, try not to talk about this stuff too much in these because it's data driven, but this is data related, is that you had the attempted assassination of President Trump, and essentially we did see Bitcoin respond in a positive way. And that tells us that it is slowly maturing into an asset that is a hedge against risk. I don't think it's pure and simple, totally risk-free, because I do think if investors in the stock market were panicking, you'd probably see people panicking in crypto. Crypto investors, especially the ones in the ETF, are much more, it's a newer investment to them, and so they're going to be fearful in that way. But yeah, interesting to see a little consolidation on this chart of Bitcoin, worth keeping an eye on. All right, over here we go, guys. Let's jump over to this chart. You want to spin it? Let's see who we got today. All right.
See if you can pronounce it.
I know. The pronunciation is always the tricky part for me. There. Gary T-E-4-H-E. All right, that's not too bad. Gary with a T there. All right, buddy, well done. Range Trading Mastery, support at Verified Investing. We'll get you all hooked up. Reach out to us. Remember, guys, we generally have a 1-week window. So if you don't reach out in 1 week, then it goes back in the pot to be given away to someone else. I don't say that very often, but it's true. We do want to make it sure it's not like someone reaching out in a year and saying, oh, remember when? You got to reach out in a reasonable amount of time. But welcome and congratulations, Gary T. Reach out to us and we'll get that started. And then again, as we saw, Winning Trader series, poetic in the way that I thought it was going to end on Earnings Trader, since I just had talked about it, but came right past to the Winning Trader series, and we'll give that away tomorrow to someone that comments and shares and is a follower of VI here. All right. So back I go here. Let's finish up here. Ben, what are we seeing here, buddy? Anything new?
I was taking a look at Mara. It's up MARA 7.79%.
Let's look at Mara here. Oh yeah, so this is Bitcoin miner. So daily chart on this is, what's interesting about this is it looks like it's been consolidating. So the question is, can it break out at some point? And I would assume if Bitcoin does, it will. But you can see here that you almost have, to me, you see what I'm seeing on this? You guys can't see this here. I'll put up my charts here. Bear with me. By the way, the trading room has a different view, unless they're on Ben's. But I do want to throw this up here for you guys as well. Let's go here to Mara. Man, it's a little weird. Yeah, it's just multiple. I got literally 3 trading views open on different computers, different accounts on TradingView. All right, so one of the things that I'm seeing here is that you almost have like a pseudo cup and handle pattern. You could see down and then up, and I'll draw this in for everyone else. I'll go over the screen in just a second. But it does kind of look like that. Let me run over to the screen here and show you guys. So we have this consolidation, right? So you have a very clear consolidation right here. But really, if we look at this dip, what is that type of pattern, right? What type of pattern is this? To me, that's a cup and handle pattern. So that's actually a bullish pattern on Mara. Now, it hasn't broken out yet, and I want to be strict about this. Is just like rule-based trading and technical trading, you could have a great pattern. If it doesn't trigger, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, this is a bullish pattern, but it's all about the trigger. So the trigger, again, would be basically a break above right here. Essentially, it looks like 23 bucks. Gets above 23 bucks, closes, even confirms. Now you're talking about a bigger move to the upside expected. The reason why I bring this to your attention is because when you're looking at a head and shoulder pattern, right? So a shoulder, let me draw this in. Here's a head, shoulder. There's a head and shoulder pattern, okay? So you have your neckline. So as of now, this would be looked at and say, wow, look at that head and shoulder pattern. Now, most people would be like, man, I got to go short this because it's a head and shoulder pattern and it's bearish, right? But the kicker is that it really only triggers if the neckline is broken and you get a daily close below it. So I've seen what ends up happening is like some traders will see, like, let me just erase, let me even erase this. So here, so if we have this again, and let me just draw it in again, oops, erase that. Okay, so what we have here, right, is that we have, I'm trying to get my drawing tool, there we go. So let's say you have this pattern. So a lot of people would be like, oh, look at that head and shoulder pattern forming, and they would short it right here. And then you know what happens? It goes, zoop, and then as soon as you take out the high, it's negated, and it's off to the races. So again, the key is with head and shoulder patterns, you want to see the neckline broken. That is the key right there. Otherwise, you just want to be a little careful. Because I see, again, a lot of people are like, oh, then they're like, well, that pattern was crappy. It doesn't work. You know, they throw it out the window. But it's, a lot of people don't know that you have to wait for the triggers on these patterns. Same thing on like a bullish pattern, right? A bull flag. So you can have this like this. Really, it's probably that little uptick that takes out this high here. And so sometimes you can get a dip, and then it all just continues down. It never really triggered. So we always want to look for triggers on a lot of these patterns. That just helps us be more sure that the pattern is going to most likely play out. Okay? Thank you, George. Short saying, well said, Gareth. Thank you, buddy. Nice. Michael D saying, have a nice day, crew. Made my money with coin and Celsius for today. Now back to the pool. That's a trader's life, baby. Not my life, because I got to run everything here with you guys that are in this office. But if you're a trader, it's the best thing in the world. I think we can all agree. You make your money in an hour and a half of the day, and you say, boop, I'm going to head out to the beach or the pool or the golf course. And listen, I want to be clear. You need to be at a certain level to do that. I don't like hearing like a newbie saying, hey, I made money, so I'm going to go. Because you need to be in the markets and studying in the beginning. But once you get to a certain level where you're consistently profitable, you'll be at a point where you can literally say, yeah. I mean, I'm at a point right now, if I didn't have verified investing, I'd literally trade the first hour and I would be done for the day. And I'd go do the gym or I'd go to the beach or something else. And it's the freedom. It's the best job in the world, I think we can all agree. I mean, you can literally compete with some of the superstars out there in terms of what they make. And you can, you really can call your own shots. You can work in your pajamas or your undies if you want, even if you're home. All right, Lawton, what do we got? Do we have...
we have one more video.
One more video, and then we'll do a couple more questions. We had about 15 minutes left, and I'm still keeping an eye out for trades, so I just want to be clear. Is like, you know, it doesn't mean we stop looking for trades, but the volume is dying out now. The big players are going to lunch, those type of things. But why don't we take a quick minute break and just hear from Bill Noble, who's joining the team here at Verified Investing.
Why is investing important? One, you take matters into your own hands. You exercise a level of sovereignty by putting your money to work for you. There's a lot to be said for self-determination. Two, you get to put economics into practice. As soon as it's your money on the line in any investment, whether it moves fast or slow, believe it or not, your mind is actually learning and teaching you in a way. The price action is teaching you about economics and markets. So if you're exercising a sovereign right to better yourself and you're learning about economics and markets in a way that will eventually benefit you, you're doing something that, I don't know, you really can't do anywhere else except the investing world.
All right, guys, we are back. So I wanted to just go over something, and it kind of reinforces. Nice. I see Lawrence made 25 cents on Macy's today. Great job, Lawrence, in the Apex Live day trading room. But one of the things I wanted to just talk about is what we just talked about, how volume gets lighter. And if you look at the screen, if we flip over to the screen, this is the intraday chart of NVIDIA. So let's jump over to the far screen there if we can. All right, there we go. So what we can see right here is that notice how you had the gap up on NVIDIA and you fell, and then all of a sudden the volume starts to die out, and that means generally retail investors are now in control. And what are we getting? We're getting a gentle float to the upside. Now, it could be forming a bear flag for a late day sell-off, but either way, the float is starting to take off and happen. And if we look at something like Apple, in fact, right here, look at the same sort of thing is going on. So you have the initial sell where there's institutions involved and they're dumping, and then the institutions step back because the volume is getting so light where they would like crash the stocks if they were to dump the amount that they want to dump. And so what ends up happening is you then create a sideways to slow float in the market. Now again, does that look like a bear flag to me? It sure does, but it doesn't mean, again, in light volume that it will play out. It would slightly favor it, but you need that institutional involvement or some trigger to cause that down move in these charts. So again, just something to kind of keep an eye on here, and bring it up here on the chart here on the for the live trading room here. But you can see that same sort of thing right there where you're getting that float. And again, if you go to a lot of these charts, they're going into what we call float mode, which is again reiteration of why trading the first hour is honestly the best. And you can see Google actually, Google was just off to the races. Doesn't look like that's a topping tail though, Ben, right? I don't think Google has a topping tail on the 10-minute chart.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
I think it's a little, the close was a little high, I'm thinking. So we're looking at this candle here, guys, yeah.
It doesn't look like it, no.
Yeah. And I think this is another good point, is that there might be a great setup on a topping tail that you would take early in the day, but by 10:30, 11 o'clock, you have to recognize that if mostly retail investors are going to be involved, you want to be a little bit more careful in taking that same setup. Doesn't mean you don't take it. That's really up to each individual trader, their own risk tolerance. We all have to make our own decision and put on our big boy and girl pants. But I think the key is, again, is that you have to decipher and say, well, maybe I'll go a little lighter because it's the time of day and I don't want to give back some of the gains that I made in the morning session here. Nice. Josh saying just exited Celsius for a $1.12 profit. Way to be patient. Josh, great job. So you can see, guys, again, people in the trading room making money. Great job, guys. All right, and hopefully after today we'll have a lot more members in there that have the Winning Traders series and can start asking questions as well and commenting and helping scan the charts. And then again, next Monday we're launching our scanner, our Oracle scanner, which will be scanning for a lot of these setups. In fact, we used it last week in the live trading room, and we'll use it again this week. And the scanner literally probably, Ben, what did it find? In that day where we had 9 trades, it probably found half of those trades for us. It was pretty
4
awesome.
or 5, yep.
Yeah, incredible. Incredible. So that'll be, by the way that's going to work is for if you're in the live trading room, you get it at a huge discount. I think like 40 or maybe like 70% off or whatever it would be. And then if you're not in the trading room, you can still get it. It just costs more money, obviously. But it is a pretty cool thing. All right. Tesla staying strong here. It's pulled back a little bit, but it's still above 260. Excuse me. Let me go to the 1-minute chart on Tesla here. Oh yeah, look at that. We did see what happened, guys. So the wedge pattern. This would be a Dr. B specialty. He's away on vacation. He can't be on. We gave him a a special dispensation and not work while he's on vacation this time, but
This time.
just this time. But notice again, guys, on the chart here, look at how here was your wedge pattern, and look, when it broke, kind of almost did a retrace, and then it's rolling over now. So that's again key on that front. And then really what we're looking at is you'll have support here around 260. 260 breaks, you have support at 257, and then if that breaks the low of the day, then gap fill. Again, based on the volume, I have a hard time believing we'd really see a big rollover today, but certainly something to keep an eye on there. All right. Let's see here. You want to do another question, Lawton? Do a couple more questions here.
Yep. So, next question. Let me see here. Oh, people are asking, will I be able to watch this later?
Yes, you can watch it later. Absolutely, guys. So it'll be on YouTube, on our YouTube, probably in an hour after, a couple hours after.
Yep.
And so, yeah, it'll be all there for reruns, and then you guys can watch that. And again, I think I'm going to look for feedback, so let us know. Did you like it? Did you find it useful? Was the analysis intriguing? Was the insights intriguing? And if it's good, then I think we probably do this quarterly. Something like this could be done quarterly for free on there. And yeah, pretty fun stuff here.
And to add to that, people are asking, wow, the Winning Trader Series was on the wheel. How do I enter? Because we don't have a game plan today. How can I enter?
Okay, so good point. I didn't even think about that. So the way you would enter for the Winning Trader Series today is when it's posted, the rerun is posted on YouTube. You just go and share it somewhere. You can share it on Twitter. I assume, will it be posted on Twitter, or will they have to share it on Twitter?
So people, I can just answer this.
Okay.
But yeah, it's going to be posted on YouTube, so they can share it to Twitter, Facebook, any social, and leave a comment in the YouTube video once the live is posted, showing that you shared it or whatever, and we'll spin for it tomorrow.
Perfect. All right, so yeah, so you can just share it and post it where you shared it, and just make sure you're following VI, Verified Investing, on Twitter or on YouTube. You don't have to follow both. We'd like it if you do, but just make sure you're following one so that you don't get disqualified on that front. Looks like Tesla's getting a small bounce here. Coinbase did push up, so eventually Coinbase did push above, which is not surprising, right? So if you think about Coinbase here, Coinbase pulled back. You notice a lot of the traders that took it in our trading room, they took profits on it, and now it's pushed above because look at the time of day. The time of day is now conducive to upside. The light volume breeds upside. One of the things I always tell people is think about this. Why does light volume favor the upside? So if you have a summer day after a holiday, I would say 9 out of 10 times that's an up day. The reason it is because, number one, institutions aren't trading. They always take long vacations, guys. It's just the nature of the beast. You know, we could shake our fists at it and say that sucks, that's not fair, but it is what it is. So we just got to get used to it. So then you just have retail investors. Now, if you go to 10 random retail investors on the street and said, hey, do you know what shorting is? I would say that 7 out of 10 of them won't know. And even those that do, they probably don't short. So you have retail investors generally only buying. In addition, I always like to say this, is that, generally human nature is to be positive. We generally want to buy stocks because we believe positively that things will get better. If we don't, and we're always thinking things are going to get worse, they medicate us, or they try to medicate us, and they try to make us feel like it's going to get better, right, with antidepressants. So that just automatically favors the upside when institutions are not involved, or when there's not a trigger like horrendous economic news or something else that can drive the markets lower. And that's why on a day like today, the assassination attempt didn't affect the markets. If anything, it probably helped the markets, weirdly enough. But again, I think I explained earlier why that was the case, considering it means that Trump is more likely to win, and both House and Senate will go most likely, at least the markets are factoring that into the Republicans, which means more spending, more stimulus, less regulation, and that's positive for the markets right now. It's essentially the equivalent, as I said, of interest rate cuts, right? More stimulus is essentially what an interest rate cut does, and so the markets like that aspect. Okay, so that's again why you have that.
So we've only got a few minutes left, but Lawton has an important message for everybody.
Wonderful. Lawton, you have an important message?
I was just going to share a little bit, just like the other guys.
Oh, yeah, I'd love that. Let's hear what Lawton's got to say.
Right, let me see which camera I should go to.
Lawton, by the way, is awesome. He's always helping out with our shows, and yeah, man, and he's rocking our helping with our marketing, and I think he's going to become an expert trader. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Maybe. So yeah, in celebration of Retail Investors Day, I just want to share a little bit about my experience trading. So coming in here, I didn't know anything about trading whatsoever, and I just said, all right, these guys are making a lot of money, like I can do that too. So I went in and, you know, kind of like what Gareth said, he kind of called me out. I kind of went big on my position size. I would be like, all right, let's just throw everything into GameStop or these random meme stocks. And I learned really quickly that that wasn't the way. So, you know, if you're out there and you're a little scared, you know, don't just go all in. Take your time, learn from the pros because they know what they're doing. And, you know, you are going to take some losses, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's a learning experience. So I just want to make sure that you feel encouraged and to not give up because, you know, if it was easy, everyone would do it. So yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
This will be fun. Let's do a little Q&A with me this time here. So, so are you going to continue to trade?
Yeah, I do. I actually just trade. I traded Celsius with you guys.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. From your phone?
Yeah, from my phone when I was sitting there. I know you're not supposed to trade on your phone, but.
That's awesome, buddy. Yeah. Very cool. All right, so he's starting to trade a little bit more, and I would love it if we could follow your journey. You know, maybe somehow follow your journey because I think it's very important. There's a lot of people out there, and this is Investor Empowerment Day, and I think it's important. Is you know, you come in knowing nothing. You've already taken some lumps, but you're already starting to see that there's a way to make high probability decisions that can help you make money. And so I think everyone out there watching would love maybe every so often updates on how you're doing.
Sure. I mean, if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know and I'll definitely update you. I can't promise that I'm going to offer expert information.
No, but I don't think people need that. I think they want the truth. Like, how are you feeling? Like, well, can I ask you a question?
Sure,
when you took like a big loss, like, how did it affect you? How did you feel? Like
I was just frustrated. I was like, man, like I was dumb. Why did I do that? I knew I wasn't supposed to do that.
You beat yourself up about it a little bit?
Yep. And I just thought about it for a while. I was like, all right. So now, and then I was like, all right, now I'm not in anything. So let me just enter another trade, you know, like just so I was in something. I just wanted to be in something, you know, but
sounds a lot like me when I started, bro. So I mean, that's the positives of it is that we all start from the same spot when it comes to trading. No one's superior. It's a matter of mentality, discipline, and then just learning, really. And then you'll be amazed. Like, I mean, I look back at where I was when I first started, where I wasn't really, you know, one of the stories I tell is, you know, I still remember in my college dorm room, I entered, I don't know, I think I had 5,000 in like an E-Trade account at that point, just playing around. I entered a stock, and it went against me. And I don't even remember why. Like, I have no clue why I did. It was a pharmaceutical company, and I was down on it. It kept going down, and I'm like, I don't have a lot of money here. Like, what the heck? And I wrote a nasty email to the company. You know, like, it basically back then we didn't have like Reddit or like, you know, these type of things. It was just like 99, I think it was, or something. And I'm literally like, one morning I'm brushing my teeth. I'm in the communal bathroom or whatever, and all of a sudden, my roommate comes, he's like, dude, you got a phone call. I'm like, my mouth's full of like toothpaste. I'm like, hello? It was the CEO of the company.
Oh, man.
And he's like, listen, I just wanted to call and reassure you, da-da-da-da-da, like, da-da-da. By the way, that will never happen today. No CEOs
definitely not.
Pharmaceutical product development. It actually became I think it was already like maybe $1 billion pharmaceutical company, but now it's much bigger. But yeah, man, like crazy stuff like that I remember from back in the day. Fascinating. Stories, but the point is, it came back up a little bit. I sold it, probably break even, and I'm on to the next thing. But it was just, I remember that emotion, man, and that emotion actually gets you into trouble because it makes you kind of do these revenge trading type things, right? You're like, I'm going to get back at that stock or like whatever, which then can catapult to more losses. And so it's something that we all have to overcome, the emotion of it. In fact, the Winning Trader series is amazing. But the one thing I can't teach is personal discipline. Right? It's what we all have to work on. Now, as you learn the tactics, you just naturally start to trust them more. But it's the discipline and the kind of the control of emotion where you just say, okay, let that one go. And it's actually, weirdly enough, it's a good life lesson because many things go wrong in our own lives, and we got to learn how to let them go and just move on, and we'll do much better that way.
For
So
sure.
I'm so excited, bro.
Yeah. Thanks for having
Great,
me.
of course. All right, guys. So just bringing it back over here, I think we'll wrap up here. But overall, I see Tesla inching down just a little bit. Nothing much going on there. Just doing a final check. I will be obviously with the live day trading room. I'll be on in the afternoon today with Ben, and every morning from about 9:27 after the game plan until about 11 o'clock. Then we take a little bit of a lunch. We come back in the afternoon, obviously when the volume's light, gives us a chance to kind of decompress from all the intensity of looking at charts, and our eyes get all googly. But yeah, I mean, my goal again, guys, of Investor Empowerment Day, and everyone's here at Verified Investing, is to show you that there's a path towards financial freedom that doesn't involve swinging for the fences. Remember, baseball players, I don't know how many baseball fans we have out there, but baseball players, the big home run hitters, you know, they are the ones that strike out the most. And when you swing for the fences, yeah, you might hit a home run here and there, maybe a bunch, but eventually you strike out. In this game, striking out can be detrimental, especially if you're putting all your money in a trade. So it's singles and doubles. I want to be the Wade Boggs or like the Tony Gwynn or, you know, one of these classic singles and doubles hitters. That's how you build real wealth. And you may say, oh man, well, I only have 2K. But yeah, but if you just compound that, like take a calculator and type in 2K and then compound it by 25% a year, and do that for 10 years or 20 years or 30 years or till retirement, depending on your age, and you will be shocked by what compounding just at that rate will do to you over 10, 15, 20 years. Versus, yeah, you might turn 2K into 10K in 1 year, which is amazing, but then watch what happens when you lose 75% in one trade. You go right back down, and if you keep doing that, you're at a lot lower than where you compound. So learn education, technical analysis, data analysis. Verified Investing is here to support you on your journey. And yeah, Investor Empowerment Day. Let's do it. From my DJ booth, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, love the questions, amazing questions. Thank you, Lawton. Thank you, everyone here. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Yeah, take care, guys.